Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. My name is Adriel and today we are going to discuss about a very important topic. But first, let me introduce my co-host here.
My name is Chioma.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about something very, very critical. But first, let me introduce our guest. See, our guest here, this guy a big man. Let me just tell you now. So basically, our guest is a Guinness World Record attempter. He attempted the Guinness World Record for longest baking hours. You know, easy. Try him if you want to try him. But basically, yeah. Please put your hands together for Chef Sammy. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Adriel. I'm excited to be here. My name is Samuel Ezemakao, popularly known as Chef Sammy. So
come on, popularly known as Chef Sammy. Come on. Alright, so basically, Sammy, it's good that you're here because we're actually going to talk about your field. We're going to talk about food inflation, basically, and how it has affected us as Nigerians. Let's say prices of things they go up, basically. So basically, I want to ask you, how would you describe the current state of food prices in Nigeria?
Okay, first thing I would say is every minute, every hour, every second, prices of things change. Prices of food change. Alright, so food inflation or prices of things in Nigeria go up every minute, every second, every hour. Because you may get something now and go back to the market, you can't get it the same price again. They tell you something has happened, something happened, so things go up immediately. So every minute, every second, every hour, prices of food is at inflation heights rather.
So, in your own opinion, what are the main causes of food inflation in Nigeria?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is insecurity. We know how the insecurity state in Nigeria is, right? Killings here, killing there. So people are not going to the farm. They're not given that chance to go to the farm. Even if they go, headsmen here and there, bandits here and there, they're trying to attack them in the farm, plant something, somebody will take his cow to go and eat everything up. So there's no, even the ones that try to farm, governments are not governments are not even helping, right, to grow more things, right? The government should be one of the main factors of growing crops or farming in Nigeria. They should they should give their own impact too in farming. So because if the government give their impact or they support or they help people grow their crops, I think inflation of price of food will be cheaper in the country. And then another thing again, we are I would say in Nigeria we're quite lazy, right? We don't want to grow ours, we want to import, we want to bring in things, but what we have here is also very good. We can work with what we have here and even export to people outside. So those are the reasons I feel.
I do that. Okay, so now you as a chef we know you have your own business, your venture. How has this food inflation affected you personally?
Oh wow, it has affected me and my fellow chefs and people who are in the food business or people who are even in commercial food business. So it has affected a lot because you may go to the market today to buy a bag of rice which costs about 8,000 and you go back tomorrow, they'll be telling you 78,000. So it has affected a lot. People can't get things the way before, like how cheap they get it before, and then it has also affected because someone will come to your place to buy food and you can't sell at a loss. You are here to make money. You are here to make your own gain. You're here to better your life. So you're going to sell the way you bought. Do you understand? If I buy a bag of rice 68,000, I'm going to do my plus and minus to know how much I'm going to sell a plate to make my gain. Do you understand? So it has affected in the sense that some customers can't afford our food. They will say, this person is expensive, this person is high cost. But it's not our fault. It's how we bought in the market that we're going to sell. So do you understand? That's also chased customers away from some people because some people some roadside people can't afford your food. Do you understand?
You said that it chases customers. So how does that thing affect you? Doesn't you're thinking, okay, I go and buy this thing now, and then you're coming back, and then customers will start leaving. How does that affect? I just want to get it to your mind, how so that for the people at home, so that they know how this thing is, so that maybe they no go buy something now, come blame the chef, say okay they are too greedy or something like that.
Okay, what I would say is, everybody, you should know how to cost what you buy, right? In order to make your gain, you should know how to calculate. If you buy something now, you should know how to calculate in order to know how to sell, right? And you have to sell at a nice rate. I know you're out there to make gain, but you're not there to kill the people with making so much money out of the gain, right? So you should calculate, and it's not just one customer that is buying from you. You're having lots of customers. Do you understand? I know the gain may not be so much, but they say a drop of water makes an ocean. It's little by little. So it's not going to just happen all of a sudden out of the blues like that. And so just little by little. And when you buy, just try and be considerate. Things are not really funny in the market, so you can also reduce your price a little for people, others to be able to afford what you're selling or to afford your market.
Things not easy. It's really not easy. You know, there's a lot of things that come into play when we talk about topics like this, because you know, for us now, we're students. And then we're going out, we're trying to, you know, because you know, hostel life and all that kind of stuff, we're trying to provide, even get, let's say, food for ourselves and all that kind of thing. How do you think, I know you two are students too, but like, how do you think it affects them? What do you think is, you know, going on through their minds?
Okay, I would say it really affects a lot of students, even myself, although I have business, but still affects me myself, because there are some things you want to eat that you can't afford, to be very honest. By the time you check the cost of vegetables, just because of this, you just have to drink garri. Sorry, let's say garri. Just have to
shots fired. Shots fired.
Just have to end up with garri.
Garri is nice food now.
Yeah, I know.
Garri is nice food. I mean, garri has always been there for us.
But I know garri is the OG, but balanced diet is what we need most of the time. You understand? We need to balance diet to even think, because sometimes when you do it and you go to write the test, excuse you, your brain is not calculating anything at the point. You're not remembering what you're being taught. So I would say, I feel like the government should really put in their effort, right, to make food prices very cheap for students to be able to afford. Do you understand? Because you're not working, you're only depending on what your parents are sending you, and for some students who are doing businesses, you will end up even eating into your capital. Do you understand? And you end up being at a loss. Do you get? So I feel like the government needs to put in hands, and then there needs to be enough security for farmers to go and farm, for some food to be very cheap for both students and roadsiders or people generally.
Alright, I think we've gotten other notes. Chioma, do you want to say something?
Okay, so as someone who is living in Nigeria now, right? You are a chef. Okay, so what would you tell people, like, to how we can reduce how governments or anything can reduce the price inflation of food? Because there are people who are poor, who cannot even afford anything. Do you understand? So what is your advice to the government or something?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is, my advice to us generally as Nigerians before even moving to the government is, buy a small backyard in your house, plant something. There's no joy that comes out from you eating what you plant. So to reduce the inflation, right, we have to start eating what we plant, right, before the government can even help us, before they can even provide, although they can even open border for people to import. So plant something. When you plant, you can start eating from there before. You understand what I mean, right? So just learn to plant something.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all our time for now. But thank you for joining us. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you so much. And also thank you to my co-host. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more of this. Thank you very much.